Hey guys, a few months ago I put out a video on this rapid strike scope from Firefield and was really impressed with the overall quality and performance of it. So when talking with the folks over at Firefield, they asked if I'd be interested in taking a look at these night vision binoculars. They are called the Hexcore HD. They are 1-3, and that is the actual model number. They're FF18001. So if I'm being perfectly honest, I have no experience with anything night vision, whether it's goggles, a scope, binoculars. So this will kind of be like me learning it, and hopefully some of you that don't have any experience with it either, you'll be able to learn something as well. As far as regular binoculars go, I have a cheap Bushnell set. I think these were like $30 some or something. These were a little bit more expensive. These are from Wingspan, maybe just over $100 some. And then I've had some like Nikon, like the Pro Staffs that were like $150 or so, but never anything that's quite like this. But I figure we'll do an unboxing of these. We'll go over kind of all the features and details, and then I will try to demonstrate them and show you guys how they actually work. So just like with their scope, Firefield does a really good job with packaging. So I'll just kind of show you around here. Looks like we got HD video and photo. I don't know yet if that's like 1080 or if it's 4K. We'll figure that out. Full color daytime recording. Nighttime recording, it looks like at least to 150 yards. Looks like you can put it on a helmet or action camera platforms, and 3 IR modes. So I assume that's kind of like a low, medium, and high. I think it's kind of the same stuff all the way around. This is different languages here. Some of the specs here, you guys can pause and read all that because I'm sure I will not go over all of that stuff. I will quickly point out that it does show that the resolution is HD. It's 1280 by 720 at 30 frames per second. All right, let's get into this. See how it comes packaged. So got some stickers up top here. Looks like a thank you. Looks like if you want to register your product. Looks like we have a quick start guide. Show you guys this just in case you were to ever get one and you lose your stuff. Just front there. Quite a bit of stuff in this. So we have a USB A to C cable. We have some AA batteries, and they are Duracells. And it looks like these are the mounts. One said it went to like a head type thing, and then one went to action camera. Some straps there. It looks like a soft bag, so you do not get any type of hard case, I don't see. And then we have the binoculars themselves. Let me get this stuff out of the way. Give you guys some close-ups before we get into all the details. You can see there's like a honeycomb type pattern, and this is like soft touch rubber. Got our battery doors here. This is actually where that USB-C is going to go, and it looks like a memory card as well. And yeah, that looks like that's going to be a micro SD card, and there is not one provided, so you will need to get your own for that. Grab you guys some quick unofficial measurements. We're probably at not quite 5 3/4 in length. We're at like 5 1/4 on our kind of width, and maybe 2 1/4 kind of on the depth of it. And we are weighing in at basically 1 pound without the batteries and 19.3 ounces with the batteries. All right, so I'll kind of show you around these binoculars here. So up here in the front, this is our display. This is what you're actually going to be looking through. Obviously with traditional binoculars, you're kind of looking through this way. So it kind of looks like this should be the way you look through, but it's not. You look through the display here. Up on top, we're going to have our mounting point there, menu button, power button, and then our up and down buttons. On the sides, we have the area to mount that strap on both sides there, area for the batteries. I showed that earlier for the USB-C, so you actually don't even have to put batteries in it, I believe. I think you can just run it off of USB-C power. And then we also have a focus adjustment right here. Nothing on the bottom except for their branding. And then basically on the back end, you're going to have like your objective lens there, and then that's where the IR is. Tell you what, let's just power the thing on, and we'll just kind of figure out all the features as we go along here. And I'm going to try it with the battery bank first and see if this will work. I think it's what it's supposed to do. And then I don't even have a memory card in it yet, but I will get one so that I can show you guys how to record on it too. But so, all right, plugged in here. This is the power button. I don't know if you have to hold it a certain amount of time or what here, but we'll see. It looks like I do need an SD card, maybe. Might be able to still show you the features without it though. Like right now we might be in night vision, so let's figure out how to switch that over to day vision. So what I'll probably do for you guys at some point is actually show you actual footage. I'll put in an SD card and then I'll transfer it and include it here in the video, but just want to give you guys an idea of kind of what this display shows. So if you're looking in the lower left corner, right now we're on the 1 times, and again it has a 3 times digital zoom, so we can change that. And then in the middle at the bottom is our date and time. It shows on that right corner, lower corner, that we're missing the SD card right now, and then that very corner, that is our IR level. Up in the top right, it shows that we're hooked into a battery source, and then it shows that we are in like filming mode instead of just picture mode, because this can take pictures as well, like stills. And to switch that from nighttime to daytime, you're just going to hold down the down button for just a couple seconds. It made a noise right there, and now we are in like full color daytime. And again, I will show you guys the actual recording. It'll look a whole lot better than what it does trying to look through this phone. I will obviously also show you guys this outside. I mean, this table's a foot away, so it makes everything look huge right now. But again, in that lower left corner where it says 1x right now, if I want to basically zoom in or magnify, I go to the plus button here, and you'll see that will change. I'll kind of focus on the top of the batteries there. You can see how that got a whole lot closer. So there's 2, 2.5. So there's the 3 times. And I can try to adjust that focus dial and see if it lets me get it in any better. So you see that now. And that was done just by turning this right here. So I'll turn it again and kind of show you out of focus. So I did want to make sure that worked with the battery bank, but I'm going to get the actual AA batteries put in it next, so we're a little more mobile. Looks like we're going to do 2 batteries on each side. And we'll also go ahead and throw a micro SD card in. Looks like it goes in like this here, and there should be like a click. Yep. And then you would just basically push on that to kind of eject it back out. Alright, batteries are in, memory card's in. Let's turn this back on. Let's see what we get here. So that is saying to format that SD card. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to hold down this menu button. So we get in the M. and then we're going to toggle over, I believe it's to the delete, like the trash can looking icon. So I'm going to use these up and down arrows till I get to it. Then I'm going to use the menu button to highlight it. Might be hard for the camera to see, but there's basically like a red, like a no symbol that's highlighted right now, and then there's a green check mark. I want to highlight that and then hit that menu button again, and that should have formatted it. I'm also going to go through and change that time. It's showing May 2nd of 2017, so we'll get that changed. Alright, that was simple enough to change. Did it the exact same way as formatting. I just held down on the menu like this. That pops up, and then you just scroll to where the time is right there. Change that, and then that's the actual date there. And then to exit out of that, it's just hold down that menu again. In the upper right corner, it is showing like a video camera right now. Again, that's obviously for taking videos. If we want to switch it to just the camera, you just tap that menu button one time, and you'll see now it shows us a picture of a camera. Alright, so we have a really gloomy fall day. It's kind of mid to late November. And to record or to take a picture, either one, that is done by just hitting the power button. You just tap it. So I'm going to start recording here. You can see our time now in the upper left corner. And again, I will try to get you guys the same footage as what's being shown right now and put it in here. But let's kind of zoom in a little bit. So that's 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. See if we can focus that now. I think that made it worse. There we go. And to stop recording, you just hit that same power button one time. So hopefully seeing the actual recorded video there is somewhat helpful for you guys. Figured I'd also quickly show you a couple of these mounting options. First, you have this head strap with the mount like this to be able to go hands-free. You can also connect this to a helmet if you just have the little adapter right there. But this can obviously then swing up and out of place. And then this will bend up here as well. And then if you need it, you just bring them down into place. And in the manual, it says you can also mount these to a tripod. I don't believe that they include all the necessary hardware to do that. And I don't believe that I have it set up correctly right now. But that mount is up on the top of the binoculars. And the only way I can figure it out is I've added this here on my own. But it makes it very difficult to actually see through them then. So like I can record and view everything, but if your face is back here, it's kind of hard to see everything. And maybe it's just something I'm doing wrong, but I could not figure out a way to make these to where they're on a back side of the tripod. So I guess if any of you know how to mount them, leave it down in the comments section. And before anybody comments this, I do know that I can mount them upside down, but then all of the buttons are on the bottom side. and you're actually recording upside down if you try to use them this way. So I'm not 100% sure exactly how to set it up the correct way. So I've had these binoculars for a few weeks now, and I'm ready to share some thoughts with you guys. So overall, I really like them. I think that they're built really well. It's using some type of ABS and some type of polycarbonate, and there's obviously some metals and some rubbers, but the majority of it is some type of plastic. It does have this nice, like, soft touch material though that are on the sides and kind of where your hands are going to be going. I like that they included those Duracell batteries. And you can also use any type of external power source, like a power bank or whatever, to power it as well. I like that these can be used in the daytime, nighttime. It has multiple IR settings. It has that 1x to 3x digital zoom, because there are a lot of times, especially inside of a home, that you do not want any zoom at all. So having the 1x is actually a nice feature. I like that it has a really large display, and you can actually do video playback right from here. You do not have to transfer anything over from that micro SD card to your computer or anything like that to view it. You can just go right into the files on here and look at anything that you recorded. I know one of the features says that it will record out beyond 150 yards. My experience was around 100 yards max is what I could see. But again, I do have some like city lights and some, other lights from neighbors' houses and stuff like that. So maybe if you're out where it's, pretty dark, it may go beyond that 150 yards. I like that it uses those micro SD cards. Basically, you're never going to run out of storage. You can either transfer the files over and then have a clear card again, or just buy a really large card or multiple cards. But that is a nice feature instead of having all the internal storage. I didn't really talk about it earlier in the video, but this actually has so you can download updates from Firefield onto that memory card, and then you can go into the program through that menu option and then do firmware updates on this. So that's pretty slick. And it also has a 3-year warranty. Few of the things that I disliked, again, please keep in mind I'm not an expert on night vision binoculars. But I have used these for a few weeks, and so this is just kind of my experience. I wish that there was more space in between these buttons here, or that they actually light up. When you're in the dark, I find it almost impossible. There's almost no separation between these, and trying to fumble to figure out which one is the record button and stuff. I had a hard time with it. I'd have to pull it down away from my face every time, hit it, and then bring it back up to my face. And that could just be the size of my fingers and stuff. Maybe you guys don't have any troubles at all, but if there was just a little more separation so you knew where each button kind of was, I think it would help a lot. For me, this head strap was not very comfortable. It looks like you should be able to adjust, the length of this and here, but none of these are adjustable. It's kind of weird. When you look here, this is actually double sewn right through here. It's stitched across here. So you would think that normally you can push this up, bring extra material in if you want to tighten it or whatever, and then you could pull this down, but it won't because of how this is stitched right here. And there's no other adjustment that you can make around here. It's just kind of odd. So the same thing here, you look like you should be able to take this and push this through, and pull this, but then it will not let you pull it here because of how it's stitched there. So and it was really tight on my head. I know it's supposed to be tight because there's some weight to this, but it would be nice if this were adjustable. And kind of speaking of discomfort, when I had this in the head strap, this nose piece area was actually really uncomfortable. Again, I have a large head, large nose, but it would be nice if this maybe came down a little bit further to give just a little more room through here. It's kind of a little bit of a harder rubber through here, and when it's just kind of resting on your nose, it does get uncomfortable. When I use just my hands and held it up, never noticed it at all. But as soon as I put that on, I'm like, man, that kind of rubs weird. So they include this quick start guide, but they did not include any type of manual. And I know a lot of companies don't include manuals with stuff, but there's not even a QR code or anything to scan to take you to a manual, but you can get to it from their website where it says product downloads. There'll be a product specifications and then a product manual. And the manual itself is very, very helpful. Like it tells you so much more. This is like 20 some pages long, and it goes over all kinds of stuff. So it would be nice if they at least put a QR code somewhere either on here or on the box that will take you directly to this manual. A couple more things to kind of let you know about, not necessarily cons or negatives, just things that you need to be aware about. There does seem to be a difference when you're just viewing through it versus recording through it. The image quality does not seem to be exactly the same. Like things are really, really clear when you just look through it. But then when you go back on the video playback, it doesn't look quite exactly the same. It's still good, it just doesn't look exactly as clear. The other thing to kind of let you know is that when you're using these, you are not like invisible at night or anything like that. If you have the IR on, you can see there's a light here. It's a really red light. The camera is picking up as purple, but that is a red light that is visible to somebody else that might be out there. Also, something to let you be aware of, even if you're using really good batteries, the battery life is not great if you're in the higher infrared settings. If you're on the highest setting, I think you're going to get about an hour and a half or so of runtime. If you're in like the medium setting, about 3 hours. If you're on the low setting, you are going to get about 5 hours. And if you're using the daytime setting, you're going to get about 8 hours. But that hour and a half on high, which again, you need that if you're trying to see out beyond 100 yards, you're only going to get an hour and a half. So I'd probably keep an extra set of batteries with you. Anytime that you change like your magnification, you're almost always going to have to change your focus too. So if you're on just the 1 time and then you go up to 2 or 2.5, the image is going to look a little bit blurry. And then it just takes a second to kind of fine tune your focus right here. And one other thing to let you guys know about these, the waterproof rating on them says no. So in my opinion, that means they don't have any waterproof rating at all. And then when you look down here, it says avoid using the unit near or around water. So I don't know if that means that they can't even get wet at all, or if they just can't be submerged in water. I'm not sure on that. So even though I mentioned a few cons, none of them are deal breakers, and I actually think these are really sweet and would definitely recommend them. You know, these are obviously good for hunters, but they're also good for somebody who just wants something for home defense, or maybe a farmer that, you know, keeps watch on crops or livestock or whatever. They're even good for like vacation, like cruising. You're taking an Alaska cruise or something like that and want to be able to see like the wildlife at night. I think they're also good for people who are into preparedness and SHTF type scenarios. Be perfect for something like that. So at the time of me recording this video, these are available on Firefield's website, just firefield.com. They're coming in at $180 there. And they're also available on Amazon for $152. So if you guys are interested in finding out more information or reading some of those reviews, I'll leave that Amazon link down in the video description. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.